Hi, I'm Brian Szabo. I'm a Lakota artist. I work with natural materials and silver.
And I'm Angie Szabo. I'm Brian's wife. I'm also an artist. I work in jewelry with multiple different metals. I also draw and paint, work in ceramics. But my primary role is as an art educator in Fort Atkinson. Brian and I met when I was in South Dakota. It was my first year teaching for Teach for America on the Rosebud Reservation, and I really missed doing my silver work that I did in college and my art. And they have a tribal university there called Sinte Gleska.
Well, she was in a program called Teach for America and was teaching at the middle school in Mission, where I am from. And to meet people, she took a silversmithing class at the local university, which my dad was teaching.
And I found out they had a silversmithing class, and I wanted to go and take the class. So I went, and I met a man. The teacher was a man named Paul Szabo, which is Brian's dad, and he let me join the class. And it was an introductory class, so I got to take it as like I just got to take it to explore and learn a few new things. And every day that we were in class, he would talk about his son, Brian, to me. So we'd be working, it was a small group, and we'd be working on stuff, and he'd tell these stories about Brian. And he had just moved back from Rapid City and talk about Brian. And little did I know that when he went home, and Brian was living with him, he'd moved back from Rapid City, had done landscaping, and he moved back, was working on art back on the Rosebud. And he would go back home and he'd tell Brian about this girl, Angie, that had just moved to the Rosebud Reservation, was teaching, she was so nice.
And he kept mentioning me all the time. And eventually we met, and I guess it's the end of the story after that. So.
So Paul was a good matchmaker. Thanks, Paul. I think Brian and I both help each other with our art in a lot of different ways. Our art's very different. Mine is much more organic and asymmetrical. I tease Brian because everything always has to be bilaterally symmetrical and just so, and it's very geometric based. And my forms are more natural and free flowing. So while our styles are very different, we help each other a lot with design ideas or how to improve a piece as we're working on things. Oftentimes when I'm partway through a project, I'll come down and say, what do you think? Should I do this or that? And Brian does the same with me.
I think we kind of feed off of each other when it comes to that. When she has questions with something, and usually she knows how to do everything, so she don't ask for my help very often, but when she does, I'm more than happy to do what I can to get her over the hump, or to help her do something that she doesn't feel comfortable doing. And then of course when there's many things that I can't do, and when I need help, she's always there to help me. So we complement each other in that aspect. So
a lot of times Brian will help me with things that I'm finding frustrating. I personally love stones and having stones in my work, but I hate setting stones. I can do it, but a lot of times it's one of those things when my time is tight, he'll help me out by, finishing a stone set and bending the bezel over, just to save me a little time. Or he'll give me advice on how to finish something more quickly, because with teaching full time, it's sometimes hard to find time to make my art as well. So it's really nice to have somebody at home that, one, supports me in finding the time by helping take care of the kids if I'm working on work, by encouraging me to continue working on stuff, by encouraging me to use the time, by not being upset when I'm up here working on art. And that's immeasurably helpful. I can't imagine not being married to Brian, not being married to an artist. He gets where I'm coming from when I'm up here working late at night. I understand when he's working on pieces. I don't know, it's a great partnership to have, and I think we're both stronger for it, if not just for the support that we give each other.